the way home from work, I was getting excited inside myself. And then I got finally home and saw Rob and Molly there, and I was getting more excited because I like coming over.
Great. Well, if you could back up on a couple of nights when you was here, the other night when Thomas and Naomi was here, you kind of got drunk on us here in the spirit.
Yes.
And you were having a hard time talking. You were, you were slurring words pretty bad. You were topping right up there with somebody that had been at a bar closing it.
Yeah, I felt like I was drunk, like I had like 6 or 7 drinks of the heavy drinks. It was...
When did you notice the effects of it when you were here?
Well, basically as soon as I started like stepping in the middle of the circle, I started feeling the energy like go from my left hand to my right hand, and it was like cold like ice and numb. I had numbness from my fingertips all the way through my body and then exiting out my right hand. And I got cold chills.
You come here sick that night.
I was pretty sick. I figured I had the allergies real bad. But I think I had like a little cold or something because I had cold symptoms. You know, stuffy nose, runny nose, itchy eyes. I was kind of coughing a little bit and sneezing all day.
I know you were real weak because when you walked in you said you didn't think you could stand.
I had no energy whatsoever. I was like, I don't know if I can stand here for long because I feel like I might faint.
What happened?
I stood there and I didn't faint. I just felt like I was getting better by the second. And Rob was holding his hand over me, and I just felt all the negative go away.
Took the cold and everything with it, huh?
Yep. He took it right out of my nose. I had sinus pressure real bad in between my forehead, and he took it away.
I don't normally lay my hands on people's noses. You know, that was a little different. And then there was the one episode where you said you saw me floating.
As Rob was standing in the middle of the circle and he was doing his meditation, he looked like he was floating. He was going back and forth, but then it seemed like he was going up and down. But then I was looking at his feet and they didn't move at all.
How was your drive home back and out of the drive? Many times I've tried to explain the stories about different folks coming around, and that when they leave the next day they'll call or come over and say, when I left here I really felt weird. I didn't know which way to go. When I backed out the drive I didn't know which direction to turn, even though you know your way home. Could you explain how it was for you?
Yeah, I went out the door like usual, and as soon as I left out the door, I had all of a sudden confusion a little bit, and I felt like I was high or drunk, and it was really pitch black. There was no lights or anything, and I looked down the driveway. There was nobody behind me, and I studied on the looks of the driveway for like a good minute before I started actually walking. And I walked to the car. It probably took me like 1 or 2 minutes to get to the car, and it was like not even that far away from the door. So I get in, I turn on the key, and I'm sitting there. I'm like trying to text my boyfriend because just to let him know I'm coming home, and so he wouldn't worry. and put my seatbelt on, and I go to back up. I keep looking, like I feel like I might hit something. So I keep looking out my rear view mirrors, like, okay. And then I'm backing up, and I keep going, but then I'm like doing like 0 miles per hour down the freeway. I mean the driveway. I'm going. I'm really going really slow. So it's like, okay, it takes me probably like 3 minutes to get out of the driveway. And then all of a sudden, the lights go out.
Power flickered. We had a power flash.
And then all of a sudden, Thomas comes out running in front of my car. Stop! Wait! Stop! Don't leave yet! And I stopped like real fast, like, oh my god, what's going on? I rolled down my window real slow. I said, hey Thomas. What's up? What's going on? As slow as I can say it. And he's like, I said, did you meet my girlfriend yet? And I said, who's your girlfriend? And he's pointing to his girlfriend Naomi, and she's like in the yard by her car. And I'm like, oh, it's Naomi. And I started laughing because I was like, how could I forget? I don't know why the light keeps going off. But
Oh Lord.
yeah, she comes up to the window, because right before she came up, I said, should I get out of the car or sit here? He's like, just sit there. She'll come to you. And I'm like, oh boy. I'm like, that wasn't good. I shouldn't ask that.
This is just you trying to get out of the driveway the other night.
Yes, I was trying to get out of the driveway in one piece. Then I shake her hand, and we introduce each other. I was like, you don't look the same as Facebook. And she's like, yeah, you got a haircut. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. And it was nice meeting you, and I hope to see you soon. And as they're walking away, mind you, it's pitch black. I have my lights on, and it's facing towards them, right? And they're walking away, and they look like little kids holding each other's hands, and they're leaning into each other. I'm like, oh, look at the little lovebirds.
And you didn't have a drop to drink
I
that
was
night.
like, what is going on here? I can't think straight. And I'm backing out, and I'm still looking both ways like 10 times before I get out of the driveway. And I get out finally. But it took me like the longest. I look like an old grandma trying to get out of this driveway. I stop in the middle of the road and try to pull my car and drive, and I was slow on that.
Wendell left here one night and he couldn't get his truck in second gear, and we heard him winding up going down the road. He couldn't switch gears.
I get to the stop sign, and I'm looking both ways, and I'm like, no cars. And I'm driving real slow, like 5 miles per hour. I'm like, speed limit's 25, and I can't even get up to 25. I'm like doing like 15, 20. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna eventually get there, I think.
Okay, I got Nicole here tonight. We were just chilling and
Hi guys.
running energy. Molly's here, and we set the crystals up. And do I have your permission to video you and use this as a teaching tool
Yes.
and post it on YouTube?
Sure.
Could you, in your own words, talking into the camera obviously, explain to the people what you experience and what you feel when you come here and we run energy through you, or you get to experience this? What do you feel? Just explain what you feel and how you feel like that energy.
I feel very peaceful. I feel relieved in a way.
Were you heavy when you showed up?
I
You
felt
weighted
like I
down.
was a stone, and then when I came here, I felt like I was a light as a feather. Like after the experience.
And you feel it run through you and just lightens you.
Basically.
You were saying something about felt like a vortex, like you were spinning in a circle.
Yeah, I felt like two negatives pushing away from each other. Like I was a magnet and another magnet that was negative pushing me into a circle.
What'd you feel when I held your hand and was pushing God's energy through you?
Well, when you had your hand on my shoulder, I felt like my shoulder was a bag of water and you're pushing.
And I
It
wasn't
felt
putting
squishy.
and I wasn't even putting any pressure on it. How about you, Molly? What'd you feel when you stood in it?
Well, it takes a lot. It makes you feel light, like you're moving.
Unless you experience it for yourself, you can't comprehend it just by hearing about it.
No, you have to experience it.
If I sat and talked with you and typed you on Facebook all day, talking about God and His energy and running power through you and allowing the Spirit to come in the magnetic form that it really is,
Probably would just get bored of that.
you would get bored of it because you'd be sitting at home not really experiencing it.
Right.
But then when you show up, everything changes.
It's usually how it happens.
She calms down and relaxes.
We have always noticed that you calm down. Everybody, even Caden,
Yeah.
once they step in here and feel it, everyone that talks real loud just seems to just mellow right out.
It's a peaceful environment.
Caden, 5 years old, he does the same thing. He was sitting on my lap there the other day in that chair, and I was just running energy through him because he likes to sit on my lap and watch SpongeBob.
Mm-hmm.
I was running energy through him, so he jumped up off of me and ran over there by her. And when she looked at him, she knew what was going on because he had that hazy look in his eyes. Mm-hmm. Kind of like you do right now.
Like I'm stoned.
Yeah, but you didn't do anything.
Positive energy.
Yeah. But so that's how I try to explain it. It's like the time I gave, did I ever give you a napkin to hold?
Yes.
Did you ever feel anything off of that?
Energy.
The night Naomi was here for the first time, I gave her one and it hit her, man. And she's like looking around and she looked at me and says, "What'd you do to that napkin?" I said, "I didn't do anything to it. You saw me pick it up. It was your napkin," because she got a sandwich at Subway. And I ripped it off of there after she was wiping her mouth with it. And I handed it to her after I put the power in it. And she says it was like she smoked a bag of dope, like someone took all that energy from a bag of dope and put it in a syringe and shot it in her veins.
Right.
That's how she kind of explained it. So you enjoy yourself when you come here and get touched.